Hello, everyone, and welcome back to How to Manifest That Dream Life with Michelle J. Lamont. Let's tune back in where she gives us a tutorial on how to manifest money.
Ching, 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 ching. All right. So first thing you're going to do is we're going to keep it super simple. Let's just say $5. All right. So do you remember who's on the $5 bill?
Thomas Jefferson?
No. Lincoln.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think Jefferson's the 20 big dollar bitch.
I know. I only know Franklin. Franklin is the only one I know. Who's on the five?
I think it's the Lincoln.
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
Oh, Washington, Lincoln, Jefferson, right?
Yes.
Anyway, so I don't know who's on the 10. Maybe Jefferson's the 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Lincoln's the 5, I'm pretty sure, right? now I'm like questioning myself.
No, but now I'm like, shit, failed miserably. But
okay,
we got Ben
so
Franklin.
I think it's a 5. Should I Google it or are we right?
You're right. It is Lincoln. Okay. It is Lincoln on the 5.
So, all right. So first, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it to your frontal cortex, and then blow it out like you're blowing a birthday cake. 2 more times. Okay, now slowly and carefully open your eyes. I want you to visualize a $5 bill. $5 bill. It has 4 corners. It's got the 5 in all 4 corners. It's got the pyramid on the back. You got that Lincoln. You got that Lincoln. You got that Lincoln. Okay, beautiful. Now imagine that $5 bill kind of just floating right in front of your eyes. Good job. Now I want you to visualize the $5 bill being folded away and then folded away, fold away from you, fold away from you, fold away from you. Now I want you to imagine, like with your fingers, flicking it out into the universe. And I want you to think in your mind the most beautiful person in the world who could find it. You don't have to say anything, just visualize them. Maybe it's a mom taking her kid to school and she has to walk because she doesn't have a car, and that $5 she can give to her child for lunch today. Maybe it's a homeless person. Maybe it's a construction worker. Maybe it's a kid that's walking home from school and he doesn't have any money, but with his $5, he can go to the rec center. Maybe it's a dog and they find the $5 bill and they pick it up and they give it to their person, and the person says, oh, we can buy a little extra dog food for you today. I want you to just imagine the most beautiful way that this $5 bill that you just gave away goes into circulation. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, for 30 seconds, you're going to name all of the ways that this $5 bill could come back to you. For example, it could come back to you from somebody buying your Starbucks in front of you in line. You could put on a pair of pants and you could find it. You could open up an old wallet. You could find it. There could be hundreds of ways. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it together on top of each other without stopping. All right. So we're going to get this timer going, and in 3, 2, 1, go. You could find it in your car. You could find it on the park. You could find it on the park. Somebody could hand it to you. You could be in an old piece of clothing. Somebody could buy you lunch in front of you at the drive-thru. Somebody could buy you Starbucks in the morning. You could be on your way to work and sit on the ground. You could be walking in the parking lot. You could be driving along and somebody throws the $5 bill that you just talked about out their window.
I think I'm doing this all wrong, but I'm trying.
You get a $5 refund from your credit card. You could get a $5 refund from
bonus
Netflix.
Benefits from Amazon.
From any benefits place that you could. Perfect. Yeah. Now.
Wild.
In the next 3 days, everybody who did this will get a $5 bill. And when you get that $5 bill, I want you to celebrate it like it's $1 million.
So I would like to pause right here and tell a brief strange story. It's about a week to the day since I posted and edited the first half of our podcast, and I was just getting back to editing the final bit. And I completely forgot about the $5 manifestation practice that we did. And even more so, I completely forgot that I had made a mention about getting some sort of a $5 Amazon reward credit or something or other. So a couple of days after we did this, I did get a coffee treated to me by someone, and it came up to the cost of about $5.60. Now, that's it's very frequent. Anybody can treat someone to coffee, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal, although I celebrated it as Michelle suggested. Then, coincidentally, today I got into a dispute with over an Amazon purchase. I have had Amazon for years. I've never had an issue with them. I've never sent anything back. And recently, we just had this whole debacle fiasco, and I had to get in touch with customer service today because it was just very dissatisfactory and yada yada yada. So, to make a long story short, they offered me a $5 credit. It was the best they could do for my troubles, and I was grateful that they could even offer something like that. And yeah, I didn't think much of it until I started editing this episode, and I got to this point where I literally saw myself talk about getting a $5 credit from Amazon, and it happened, and I'm kind of wigging out. Coincidence? I don't know, but let's go back to the episode.
You just told the universe 15 different ways this $5 credit could come into your life, and the universe wants to show off. Now, that's a very easy technique to see what you're a vibrational match to.
Yeah.
When we do this, sometimes people get $50, $100, $500, $5,000. Why? They were a vibrational match to a very bigger denomination. So when we start so low, it doesn't feel like I'm begging for my car payment or I'm begging for my mortgage. It's just a fun $5 way of doing it. Yeah. There's so many practices like this that work energetically. And today is Monday, which is the best day of the week to work on money because it has the highest vibration of money. You always want to think of manifesting money on Monday, MMM. And watch that vibration come to fruition. Why? Because you don't care about $5. Who cares if you win or lose $5? Who cares if you get it? And it's going to be something super random. Like you're going to be like, oh, wait, I just got a credit on my electric bill. Does that count? Yes, that counts.
Yeah.
All of it counts.
Celebrate it.
Yes, celebrate it because the universe knew you were going to be listening to this podcast. The universe knew that you had this fear and doubt, and the universe knew that you just needed something to push you in the right direction. And once you believe it, you can receive it. But if you really just say like, this is all woo-woo and this is all BS, then the universe is going to keep showing you that it's woo-woo and BS. Now, I'm over here living the best life I've ever had. And, I play the money game all the time. So let me give you an example. I may not be able to run the 5Ks and the 10Ks and the half marathons I did when I was a publicist. A, I was starving myself all the time. And B, I was depressed and stressed out. And C, I had to run just to stay alive because I was literally just so panicked all the time that if I didn't get some exercise, I was going to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
So now that I live in the beautiful island of St. Pete in Florida, the number one beach in the United States for the third year in a row, according to Condé Nast, right in my backyard.
I have friends that live in St. Pete's. They love it.
Oh, yeah. The largest pride in the United States is in St. Pete. It's fabulous. Screw DeSante. And we call him the shit stain around here. The Satan.
Yeah.
So you could then vibrate at a higher rate of currency. So one of the things that because I've learned so many techniques to manipulate energy. So the other day, my dog Dolly is very athletic. She's Dolly Parton Lamont and Wayne Lamont. Got to keep it Southern and cute.
Yeah.
So Dolly Parton, she's athletic. And whenever the dolphins come up along my seawall, she goes bananas and she barks and she runs. Well, Mama cannot run a 5K in 30 minutes. This is just not going to happen. So Dolly made me, because Dolly wants to go outside and Dolly wants to run and Dolly is a creature. Dolly made sure that somebody told me about an athlete who has a running business, and she's an athlete, a super athlete, like a mega marathoner. she'll just come and run your dog for you for like $50 a half hour.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Okay. Now, yeah, and it's the ultimate bougie thing when people are talking about $9 blueberries. I'm over here like, do you want to run my dog and I'll pay you?
Yeah.
Like, but I never thought about it being bougie. I literally thought, oh, this is perfect. It's a solution because obviously Dolly manifested her.
Yeah.
Right?
Dolly needed it. Yeah, she needed
Dolly
the outlet.
needed it. Mm-hmm. So when I saw as much love that Dolly had when she does these 5K and Twist comes and gets her, and me and Wayne and I are like the same girth. So we go up at the same speed. So we're like walk, run, then we walk, and then we kind of like mosey back. You know?
Yeah, same with me and my dog.
Well, Dolly is an Olympic athlete. Okay. So in a 30-minute run, she's running 2.9 miles. That's with poop and pee stops.
Wow.
Well, I could tell that she just loves it from the videos. This is the happiest I've ever seen my dog ever.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart because I was like, man, this is already $200 a month.
Yeah.
So I sit down and I look at her and I do a meditation. I said, Dolly, if you want to do this twice a week, that's going to be $400 a month. Make $200 appear in my life and I'll buy 4 more sessions. Let's just see how much you like it.
Yeah.
Once you understand that everything is energy and birds can manifest and animals can manifest and trees and everything, you have such a wealth of resources to call money in.
Yeah.
If I want 5K or $1,000 or $40, I'll get it. The next day was a day that I didn't have an appointment until 11. So I got up, I did meditation. I was going to head down to the beach and have some breakfast, just living my best life. And all of a sudden my phone vibrates like I'm about to have a Zoom. And I was like, I don't have any Zooms for like 3 hours. I open it up. A 1-hour call with me is 222. Oh. So someone at midnight, I told Dolly at 8 o'clock, someone at midnight booked a call for 222 the next morning.
Wow.
And then that person who booked the call, she bought a $3,000 coaching package. Dolly was like, how about $3,200
to keep it going?
I want to do this every day of the week. And I'm like, no, we're doing it twice a week. And that's when Mommy and Wayne will go on their run and you and Superstar can go on yours. Yeah. And then I go to the gym or do yoga or something or go kayak or something one other day a week. And that's how we get our exercise. So I can make money appear whenever I want. Why? Because I don't give a fuck about money. Money means so little.
Yeah.
And we're told to put it on a pedestal. If you're worshiping a God called money, it has no way to come to you. If you believe that money is hard to get, it will always be hard to get.
Yeah.
And I'll just close with this one thing. I love this quote by Walt Disney, since I'm an hour from Orlando. The magic only occurs for those who seek it. Those who seek the mountain will always find the mountain. Those who seek the magic will always find the magic. Walt Disney.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So what are you looking for? What are you looking for in this world?
Yeah.
If you're looking for a vibrational difference, you found it. This is it right here. And if not, you're going to lean back into, oh, well, she was a publicist and she can get on TV and make people listen. I intentionally did not do one thing to market myself, to publicize myself, to do any of it for 2 years.
Wow.
I said, year 3, I'll start doing interviews. And literally in January, I go, make it super easy for me to be on TV. I've done 12 interviews since January.
Wow, that's so cool.
I just called the friend of mine who's a publicist. I was like, hey, here, I wrote a couple of pitches, send these out. Ding, 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 ding. And then I was invited to co-host the Fox morning show in Washington, D.C. with the Oscars and Margaret Cho and, oh my gosh, Meredith Vieira. And I just did that a couple of weeks ago.
How cool.
I'm the princess of the universe.
Yes, you are.
And we all are. We all are if we'll step into our magic.
Yeah.
I'm not the magic. What I teach doesn't make you famous or rich or powerful, but you become famous, rich, and powerful if that's what you seek through these teachings.
Yeah. That's what I
I
always tell people too. We are the ones holding ourselves back. It's so easy to give up our power to bills. It's so easy to give up our power to generational lack, ancestral, energies, what we were raised with, what we are hearing every day, propaganda, media, control. I mean, it's all a system that we're playing in, and we choose when we want to give up our power and how. And if we want to keep it and we want to call it back, we choose that as well. It's kind of like what you said earlier about what was the analogy? You made an analogy about how do you know that it doesn't work? When you were talking about everybody, just the bills and the blueberries and everything's getting so high and expensive. I'm going to talk about that all day. How do you know that the opposite doesn't work? It all goes back to that. We give away our power. We're responsible for our power. We can take it back. And I think that when I hit I don't know that it was a low. I mean, I feel like it was a low because I surrendered to being like either out of work for a period of time, or just and really when you feel controlled by all the outside environment and you realize, wait a second, I can control that. I'm going to be happy. Every day that I can breathe is a day that I can create. and
Yeah.
and I feel that not enough people go back to that, and I love that your message kind of pulls you back to it. You're just teaching what you know, and what we know is that a lot of us surrender our power every day, and it's time to call it back.
Or we never even realized that had power to call in.
Yeah, good point. Especially
You know,
people that are raised in certain upbringings. That you're beat down, you're abused mentally or verbally or physically. You feel like you're not worth having your power. A
I had
thousand
a
percent.
I had a guy last year or 2 years ago. He's doing so well now. His brother was a super athlete and he was super gay.
Mhm.
But his dad would not say gay. He wouldn't even say the word. Here is my client, literally a singer. He's now an opera singer, but he's a singer, right? And his dad's like, stop doing that stuff and stop singing. And why are you wearing the robe all day? And, all this kind of stuff. And his inability to allow himself to be seen fully by his brother and his father had really projected him into a life of lack, because when your father doesn't believe in you and you're always, being compared to somebody in your family who is the ideal child and you're the unideal child, then it makes it a reality in which you don't believe being yourself is okay. So I got him to the point where he bought his father a shirt that said, my son is gay and I'm so gay about it. And
Mhm.
like four of these shirts, and he was like, I'm never going to send it to him. I'm like, hold it up. Imagine him wearing it. Da 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 da. He finally is wearing. He himself is now wearing like full moo all the time. Okay, feeling himself. He's gotten 3 different job promotions. He's now doing full, like he wanted to do opera, but he wasn't doing it full time. And then with the pandemic, nobody was doing anything. He's now been booked in his 3rd show, and this year on his birthday, he's giving his dad all the shirts. He has explained to his dad that this is not his roommate, this is his future husband. And they have the best relationship they've ever had in their entire life. Because why? Not because of my ability to coach him into a mindset where he could feel free, but for his ability to accept the fact that he was magical
Yeah.
and that what was with him was not broken or was not from lack. It didn't need to be compared to anything or to anyone, and that it was enough, enough, enough.
Yeah.
And this, somebody who was 27 years old. His whole life, he was ashamed of who he was. And he told his dad, this is my roommate. But you can't say this is your roommate if this is one day going to be your spouse and you guys might be adopting a child. So, how can you allow those things into your reality when you believe that who you are is broken?
Yeah.
So if you believe that the only way to get wealth is becoming a lawyer, becoming a doctor, inventing something, which is a pretty good way, and all those things are good ways, then you're saying that whatever your natural gifts and talents are not enough. Every day I show up as Michelle J. Lamont, And every day my bank account grows and grows and grows. I have so much money right now. I could not work for 2 years and I would never miss, I wouldn't even know it.
That's wonderful.
And I have a new class on, like starting on Sunday. It's, I think, almost at capacity. Capacity is 15. So I don't understand why everybody feels like there's all these issues with money. If you're believing that, then you're listening to the news and watching the news. And I would tell you to unfollow every news station, stop watching anything that's associated with the news. I haven't watched the news, and I worked for the news, and I was the news basically for nearly 10 and a half years, and my life has never been happier.
Are you?
But,
Oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, all I was going to say is it's designed to keep the masses scared and to buy a pill to solve a problem, but your problems are an inside job.
Mm-hmm.
Healing is an inside job. There is no topical or pill formation to get you to where you want to be. That's between you and you.
That's so profound and so accurate. You talked about your classes. Are they like 6 week workshops? Are they mini workshops? How do your classes and courses work?
So, because it's a podcast and it's available all over the world. There's people from London, Australia, that always want Africa, always asking like, how can I join? So the classes are live. Every class is on a Sunday night at the same time from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because what are you doing on a Sunday? Nothing.
Yeah.
So you might as well manifest your dreams.
Yeah.
So if you can't do a live class because of time zones or children obligations or whatever it is, then you can take a digital class. And I have 3 digital classes that are offered right now. Dismantling your imposter syndrome, lucky girl syndrome, and fear is a motherfucking liar, or MF liar. So those 3, the 3 total are 500, but with the code pre-50, you can get it for $199.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
So you get your self-paced. It's me on video all 7 or 10 days saying, all right, let's do this. Okay, we're going to do this. All right, da-da-da, and giving you little feedback and like shout out contests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you kind of feel like you're in one of my live classes.
That's really cool. Pre-50, guys. Pre-50.
And then, yeah, you're like,
Listen, I'm like, that's honestly how I prefer to take a lot of my workshops and courses if I can, just because I work in film and television, so my schedule is all over the place. I might spend 6 to 7 months working on a project, and I don't have any free time to do the classes that I want to do. But it doesn't mean that I should wipe that out. If I can go at my own pace, I love that you have that option. It's wonderful.
So then the second option is one of my live courses, and for the rest of 2023, I have 2 different classes I'll be offering. One is called Into the Mystic. It's a 4-week group class. Everything is on Zoom, and we're on a group chat in an app called Voxer. So every single day, you and all the other students who are signing up to change their lives get to talk to each other. They get to make jokes. They get to send memes. They do all the coursework, and the courses are pretty intense because I read about 40 to 50 books a year. Like, I'm on book 15 this year. I read 47 last year, 44 the year before. So, one of my workbooks is like this. So this is Into the Mystic. This is the whole thing. 1 week. This is 1 week.
Nice.
All of that is 1 freaking week.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all done and illustrated, and this is my first cover before the one that you see now.
Oh, I love it.
Cover. That's with the Chanel-y girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm all like beach vibes and waves and all that good stuff. So that was like a Chanel hat and a Chanel jacket from a stylist who pulled everything for me.
Yeah.
So that's the first way. The second way is my digital classes, and those are available 3 times a year. And going on my 3rd round at the end of summer, and then the 4th right before Christmas. So it's Into the Mystic, which is a 4-week course that covers everything mystical. So from crystals to the moon, to the sun, to herbs, to candles, to guides, to angels. It's basically like everything you wanted to know that actually is worth knowing, and I've eliminated everything that doesn't work and is bullshit. And then
It's out there. It's out there.
out there,
Yeah.
the next one is called the Manifestors Masterclass, and that starts this Sunday. It's a 3-week class. There are payment options. It's $7.99, and you can pay it off over 4 months or 3 months. I forgot. And so those are those ways. And then the last one is to work with me directly one-on-one. And so I have a 6 weeks course, and that's $14.99, or 3 months of coaching, which is $3,000. And every week we would meet for an hour. Everything's recorded. There's a very specific plan, an itinerary, and schedule, and you have to do daily activities when you're working with me and coaching every single day, because there's a science to it, and there is a spirituality to it. So first we have to unpack the suitcases, and then we can start filling them up with love and money and abundance and vacations and dolphins and whatever else you want, you know.
Really
So
quick, and you brought up an excellent point. It was a question that I had earlier, and I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you
I know
for your time.
whatever you want. Yeah.
One question that I did have is manifestation in and of itself, like the practice, is do you find it to be more spiritual or more science, like like quantum science or quantum mechanics? What field would you put manifestation, or both?
I would say both, because in my email signature I quote Albert Einstein, because Einstein says that match the frequency of the desire that you want, and it has to appear. This is physics. So in the quantum, what quantum is it's relatively speaking about your protons, neutrons, electrons, and atoms. And so you're spinning forward in a forward direction all the time. That's the way it works. There is no time as an illusion. So history is just a memory that you're choosing to recreate. And if you're not anchored into your future, all you're going to do is try to avoid your history instead of really create your future.
Yeah.
Well, manifesting is the art of bringing something from your thought to reality. And if you have hesitation, if I said right now, I bet I could manifest a free cup of coffee today. Well, if I don't leave my house all day and I don't want anything like that to really happen, I'm kind of saying it like tongue in cheek. And there's no way that someone's going to come knock on my door and bring me a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Or I could say, I want it to be fun and playful. I'd love to have a hot, beautiful, delicious drink anytime I want. And if today's that day, cool. But I don't want to pay for it anymore. I just want people to give me free drinks, and I want people to comp me things and to buy me things. And you keep living in that reality. I'm going to go onto my phone and I'm going to order DoorDash, and they're going to say, "Oh, we had a special at this place today, and you got a free drink for free. So we're throwing in an extra mango smoothie." And I'm like, I'm the luckiest girl in the universe.
Yeah.
And if we're operating out of fear and lack, if we're operating out of money, dollars, coins, we're operating out of nobody's getting married, everybody's staying single, why would you want this or that? Then that's exactly the universe that you're going to see.
Yeah.
You have to understand that manifesting is actually what you've been doing your whole life. But putting a concentration on it is just understanding that you're now perfecting it. Let me give you an example. As a makeup artist, anybody can go buy makeup and put it on. Anybody. You go to the dollar store and you can buy makeup and put it on. But if you cultivate how the skin is falling, where the pores are big, where they're small, where her head goes up, and how she could get that look to go up as opposed to going down, and you use the right little brush for this one area and another brush for this area, and then you learn how to blend it, and you understand all the tools in the tool chest. I can walk in Michelle J. Lamont and walk out Michelle Kardashian.
Yeah.
Right?
Practice. Yeah.
Practice, and belief that you have the technique that you need to do it.
Absolutely.
Because anybody can become a makeup artist if that's their desire, if that's their will, if that's what if they want to transform canvases from everyday ordinary into ooh la la, then that's their natural gift and talent. And therefore, they can call in all those people that they're a vibrational match to. But if you believe, oh, nobody's paying for makeup anymore, people can do it on themselves, everybody's an influencer, there's all these filters, there's all these edits, then you're going to get everybody who is bargain basement Betty. And the deal of a lifetime.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much my makeup artist is like, I just charged you for 4 more packs. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to have you come in here and do this and
Yeah.
my hair so I can shoot and look like a beautiful woman and feel confident on camera, I'm going to write that check. And then you know what? The universe is going to bring me all that money back. So for instance, she said, hey, I have a special. If you buy these 4 packs, it's like this much money as opposed to this much money. Then I said, just Venmo me and the invoice.
Yeah.
I go into Venmo. And her deal was like $6.99 for whatever I was going to buy. I was like, oh, that's kind of a penny. Let me think about that. And I said, nah, it's just worth it. I go into Venmo to go do it. I had $1,500 in Venmos I hadn't even transferred in yet.
No way. So it paid for itself.
It already had been paid for.
Yeah, it had already been paid for.
So you have to see yourself as the person who is going to be a vibrational match to the things that you want to align in your life. And if you can't get to that realization, then it is going to take a little bit of science to undo the things that you have done to yourself in your thought process. And then it's going to take a little bit of faith. And then that faith leads you into the spirituality of it, the manifesting. But there's so many religions that just teach you how to be ashamed and scared and in fear. So you may have grown up with parents who were very fearful,
Yes.
and then you don't, you go to church every day. You're a sinner. You're unworthy. You're unclean. You got to pay this penny and do this thing and whatever it is. So you might be coming from a background that would make it nearly impossible for you to see yourself as manifesting something into your reality. Or you can say, that was my history. And if you mentioned Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches something very interesting. And one of the things that I loved about Dr. Joe Dispenza, not only just his powerful story, but when you read the book, Becoming Supernatural, have you read it?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so it's like 900 pages, okay?
Yeah.
And I read a lot, and that was really fucking hard to read.
I split it 50-50 between physically reading it and audiobook.
Okay,
So,
I was like, come on, dude, like we use font 12 or something. It's like small font too, and you're like,
yeah.
Dude,
I was going cross-eyed when I was reading it.
So one of the things that he teaches is there's only 2 or 3 things. That's it. That diseases that you're born with.
Yeah.
So if your dad was an alcoholic, you are not going to be an alcoholic. You are choosing to be an alcoholic. This is not a disease that's hereditary or passed on. If your mom was when you say, off-centered or a little like delusional or crazy or whatever they said for that time and age, you're not going to be. It's like sickle cell anemia stage 4, diabetes 3, and then some blood disease. Those are the only 3 things on the whole medical radar that you could inherit. But I hear it every single time because I do a free 15-minute calls twice a month on Tuesdays. So tomorrow I'm looking at my thing. I'm like, look at all these free 15-minute calls.
Yeah.
All these people signing up for my stuff.
Yeah.
So on these calls, I'll get it all the time that, oh, well, my mom was an alcoholic, so then I became an alcoholic because I grew up watching her. Stop saying that. Stop saying that you were born, like your mom had breast cancer. That is not hereditary.
Yeah.
You still share some of those same genes and you have to be very cautious. Yes. But you are not born with a tattoo across your face that says you are going to be impoverished. You're never going to be better. You have decided to wear that mask and that suit of armor and walk around this world feeling that way. And therefore, you're going to create that way.
Amen.
So Dr. Joe Dispenza, when he said that in one of his books, I was like pretty shocked and I had to Google it and he was right. And I said, wow, because I've known so many people who their parents were drug addict or their parents were alcoholics or their parents were poor or whatever it was. So then they were like, well, my mom had gout, and so I'm going to have gout, or I had diabetes, or whatever it is. We take on those diseases by talking about them and bringing them into our reality so they we become a vibrational match to all of that. What does a medical degree say? The practice of medicine.
Yeah.
We're signing up to be the guinea pig they're going to practice on. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a doctor in 6 years, and I will never go. If there's blood coming out of my orifices, I'll be like, well, it's time to call it a day. I guess it's the end. Aunt Michelle's black Amex card. First for everybody. The blood's coming out of all the pores. It's the end. What's going on? Oh, I just became a hemophiliac, so I guess I'm about to die.
Oh my God, you're hilarious.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And I'm not giving medical advice at all, obviously. But I don't want to live in a reality. When you go to the doctor's office, the doctor is not hoping you're going to be healthy.
Yeah.
The doctor is hoping to find the one thing he can write a prescription on to keep you coming back, keeping you feeling sick, keeping you feeling tired, so he can meet his quota to get his $10,000 bonus from whatever prescription company he's writing the scripts from.
Yeah.
Show me where that's not true.
I mean, I'm not going to diss doctors. I have a lot of respect for, the schooling or whatever. But an example is a friend of mine recently had some sort of bacterial infection, and he went to the doctor. He didn't know what it was. The doctors didn't know what it was. So they gave him all sorts. I think they gave him like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 treatment options, and then ended up giving him like 3. And, it's just one of those things where it's like, they're practicing on you. They don't know. They're taking an educated guess. And then now you're taking it on as to like, well, I have something wrong with me.
Your liver.
Yeah.
Your kidneys.
Yeah.
Your lungs.
Your blood, your lung. Yeah.
Your blood. I'm a vegan. I don't drink alcohol. I'm pretty, because I want to be as psychic as possible. Look, I'm not healthy. I'm overweight. I don't exercise as much as I should. I eat probably too many vegan cupcakes because they're so damn delicious by Rubicon. And Rubicon can sponsor me anytime you want. But I just don't want to live in a reality, because you'll hear people, and I have doctors as clients, and I love doctors. Look, if my arm was broken and about to fall off, I'm going to the ER to have it sewn up. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only time, unless there's an organ pushing out of my skin, a limb being bleeding and hanging by a thread. Does anybody have a needle? I just can't,
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't want to be in a, because all they're going to do is tell you, oh, you're pre-diabetic, or you're pre-whatever, you're pre-cancerous. We already have millions of cancer cells in our bodies.
Yeah.
Like we already all of us have cancer.
Yeah.
We're all born with it, know? It's just that the healthy cells are producing less quickly than the cancer cells, and the cancer cells are reproducing faster. So then when they duplicate faster, they have to become one, and then they become a cluster, and it becomes a tumor or whatever. And guess who's sending all that information to them? Either sugar or us. Well, my mom had cancer, so I'm going to have cancer. My dad had cancer. Everybody in my family had heart disease, so I'm going to have heart disease. Well, all of a sudden you're telling your heart, be diseased, be diseased, be diseased. And then they check it and they're like, yeah, you manifested heart disease. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I mean, I come from a mother had breast cancer. Father had diabetes. His father had diabetes. So I know exactly what you mean. And I am a practicer of, I know it's out there. I'm not going to invoke it into myself. I'm going to take care of myself where I can. And I'm going to keep that precaution there. Mindfulness, we'll say. We're keeping it mindful, but I'm not going to give it my energy.
Or let's say that your dad had a heart disease, or would you say your dad had diabetes?
Yeah.
So
in his case,
in his case, so I would find my pancreas on my body, and I would put a really powerful clearing crystal on there. And once a month, I would do a meditation. I would go to YouTube and find clean my pancreas meditation. There's somebody did it. And put a clear quartz crystal on there, and just like Dr. Joe Dispenza did for his treatments, and totally cured himself from being completely immobile to running all these half marathons and marathons, and visualize the pancreas being balanced, and visualize the pancreas being healed, and visualize the insulin regulating itself and then thanking your organ. Oh, pancreas, you're such my favorite pancreas. You best insulin resistance ever. I have no problems. Even if I eat a pound of sugar, my insulin comes out just fine.
Yeah.
And send love to it. Now, of course, if you're already suffering from diabetes and you're taking insulin, or you're a parent, you have to give insulin to your child, this sounds crazy. But go and watch what Dr. Joe Dispenza is doing and what he's teaching children who are in hospitals with diseases, and how fast the children are becoming overnight miracles.
Yeah.
Because it's the mind, not the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating, all of it. And I like that I think he partnered with the UCLA. He has partnered with colleges to be able to support this with science. It's really cool what he's doing, and I appreciate it. I'm also a big fan of like visualization, and that's, I'm a creative, so I can play any scenario in my head, and it's so beneficial to just even like the fake it till you make it. If I wake up and I'm not feeling confident, if I just take 5 minutes to believe in myself, I instantly feel better. And I think that people aren't taking that time every day to give themselves their power. It's so, I 100%, I back you
They
up.
can do it to their phone, to their Instagram, to the TikTok, to the news, to the email.
Oh my God, the dopamine on all of the, the clicks and the scrolls, and it's we're so out of balance, and it's about finding your balance. You can't not enjoy the good things in life, and you don't have to be suffering or coming from a place of lack. You just got to balance it a little bit. And
you also have to enjoy the bad things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lesson in all the bad things.
There is. Yeah. And there's a purpose for that thing. And if you don't accept the purpose, then you'll keep repeating it.
Yeah.
So if something bad happens, and, like when my dog died 2 years ago, obviously having to put her down and her having that disease was terrible and awful, but the universe was prepared to bring me Wayne and Dolly.
Mm-hmm.
And her time was done. Her lessons were done. She would have never made it to Florida. She would have never been out here running with dolphins and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So in that moment, what I got to do was learn how to let go of something that I loved so deeply, so she wouldn't suffer anymore. Because I had let too many dogs suffer before, because I wasn't prepared to let them go. And they stayed too long. They give them, if you've ever had to put a dog down, you get 3 injections or 2 injections. They put the first one in and sedates them, and then the second one stops the heart, and the third one does like the final nail.
Yeah.
And one of my dogs, my last dog that I put down before her, well, Jackson had to be put down and he was healthy, but the one before her, she was very, very, very sick. And they put the first needle in just to calm her down, and she died.
Oh.
She was so.
It was time.
Went ahead and put the second and the third. I suffered from the guilt of that for so long, because he looked startled and the other person looked startled, and they didn't want to make me feel bad. And then I Googled it and looked it up, and they were like, if the dog dies on the first needle, the dog was basically dead anyway. And I was like torturing the dog. Like I was literally torturing her to stay alive. So on this last dog that I had to put down, yes, I kind of went to the extreme and took her to specialists, but I wanted to see if there was anything that could be done.
Sure.
And, and when she said, look, you can pay me $5,000, but she's going to die anyway, I was like, got it. She was like, I mean, if not now, in the next couple of months. And I was like, should I do it now? And she goes, I would do it now. I was like, you would do it right now today? This was your dog? And she was like, you don't want me to write you a $5,000 check to see if any of these things work? She goes, do you know what energy is? I said, yeah. She goes, energetically, I wouldn't want your $5,000.
Yeah.
That, like I said, okay, in 3 weeks, Olive is going down. And then I put her down, and literally almost 6 days later, I got Wayne and Dolly.
Wow.
But that lesson was that love isn't holding on, it's letting go.
Absolutely.
So you have to learn all these little lessons within each paradigm, or else you can't be in a new vibrational universe or jump timelines, because you're just this vibrational match to your history.
I also feel like letting go is a huge part of manifestation. When you create the idea, when you create the end result in the visualization, like we practiced earlier in your demo with the $5 bill, you've got to fold it up, send it out, let it go, and then acknowledge it when it comes back. And sometimes I feel like one of the biggest mistakes people make is constantly focusing. And yeah, there's a time and a place to, remind yourself of what you're working for. But I feel like if you're thinking about it every 5 minutes or every hour on the day, that's not going to necessarily manifest it faster. I feel like that's a way of trying to convince yourself because you don't believe that it's going to work. You've got to be able to let it go. So that was a powerful lesson too. Could be.
And there's a difference between letting it go and working on things, right? So, like, I want a certain number of listeners every month. Okay. There's an idea in my mind about what that number is. I'll go on, podcasts and TV shows and stuff like that and do interviews. But I also want to have enough financial resources that I can scholarship more people, that I can hire more people. Because I don't take my money and hoard it in a bank. I hire makeup artists, I hire hair people, I hire nail people, I hire cleaners. I hire dog runners, I have dog trainer, I spread my money. I put my money out into the universe because I'm not
Generosity. Yeah.
Well, I'm not scared of it not coming back.
Yeah.
I know that money flows. Money flows to and from me easily. And so if I start to hoard it and be worried about it and scared to spend that money or treat myself to my Starbucks or whatever it is, then I'm telling the universe, slow down the pace of sending me the money.
Yeah.
So you're a vibrational match to whatever reality you're going to step into. And sometimes the learning curve is that you're letting it go so you can just let it appear. But what am I working on right now? I'm designing mugs. Okay. These mugs are genius mugs.
Oh yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Now,
I love your graphics, by the way. Your design aesthetic is so cool. I love it.
listen, you write checks, you get good things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting here drinking with myself every morning my matcha. And I thought, I wish my listeners could do what I'm doing. I'm listening to my meditation. I'm turning it 3 times. I know how to call money in. There's a money way you do it. And I said, wait a second. Whenever I go and give a speech, we put a QR code on the screen and they just hold up their phone. Why don't I put a QR code, make it go to my website, and when you put that QR code, you will hear a 10-minute meditation on that subject.
That's brilliant.
So, thank you.
I love that.
So I'm right now finishing up my first 4-pack. It'll be let's say this is the money mug. There'll be a picture of me it'll be a red mug for money. And then it'll have 4 money affirmations, the QR code. And then every day for that first week of the month, you're going to do what I say. And then you're going to drink and listen to this 10-minute money meditation with me. And then you're going to put your mug away. And the next one is self-love. And then the next one is forgiveness. And the next one is psychic. All right?
I love that. That's so cool.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I have classes. I'm right now designing shirts that are just say manifesting. So you're covered in the word manifested all the way. So it says manifesting on the back. It's manifested. Like you went in wanting, you leave getting. I have another one that I'm doing a class, or I'm teaching a digital class on mirror work, on how to use mirrors and creating portals.
Mm-hmm.
So the shirts are all I'm trademarking them right now. I have somebody work on that this morning. I wrote a check for it for my designs of all my affirmations that I say. There, you can only see them in the mirror.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a night shirt you put on, and all your affirmations, it looks like a tattoo. So anybody coming over, nobody needs to know your husband, your spouse, your significant other, your family members. It just looks like weird, cool tattoo thing. And then you stand in front of the mirror and you read your affirmations before you go to bed, and you create your little portal.
That's so cool.
Okay. So am I always constantly creating? Yes. So does that mean that I'm going to have all of these portals for money to come in? Yes.
Yeah.
Are my digital courses 1 month going to do 10,000 and my coaching do 2,000? Probably.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
But maybe the mugs would make 10,000 that month, or maybe the shirts, or maybe the courses, or maybe the speaking arrangements. That all that said is, you might look at me and say, "Wow, she's very ingenuitive and she's very smart." Well, yeah, my whole path here was I started my first business with $250 and a car that went in first, third, and reverse. And by year 3, I was $30,000 in debt. And by year 5, I was doing over $1 million a year. Now, was I working at Domino's Pizza and rolling pizza? Yep. Was I waiting tables? Yep. Was I doing catering jobs, bar backing, cleaning people's toilets? I sure as fuck was. Why? Because I saw parents who would do anything to become entrepreneurs. So I knew if I didn't give up, I would be successful. And statistically speaking, if you make it to year 3 in a business, you will be profitable by year 5, and then that will become a career.
Yeah.
So people give up too easily. People are not patient. People are not creative. And so I just visualize myself like my event, me on stage, all of my products, everybody taking all of the Manifesting Manifestors Academy courses, people going to my retreats. My retreats start this fall. And will I have a big fat pile of money? Probably. But guess what? Nobody gets it.
Yeah.
I don't give anything to my nieces or my nephews when I die. And when I die, all of my classes, all of my academies, and all of my courses will become instantly free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to profit. That way there's no argument.
Yeah.
And all of my money goes to helping animals and girls in Colombia, and girls in the welfare system here in America. And the girls know that. So any money that's left over from what I didn't spend having a blast while I was here on Earth,
Yeah.
for whatever the fuck I wanted to do, just like yesterday, I was like, I don't know what I want to do today. And then I saw this thing. It was like, take a private jet ski tour through this eco park. I was like, let's do that. It was like $75. I drive up. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Spend the day jet skiing with all these little people.
Have fun.
But I don't even take calls before 11 because I don't know if I wake up, I want to masturbate. I want to go to the coffee shop. I want to go to the beach. I want to go take a yoga class. I want to go take boxing. Maybe I just want to shop. Maybe I just want to lay in bed and watch, some trash TV. But I make 6 figures a year and I get to work whenever I want. I don't have to ask anybody any questions.
Yeah.
And people are literally I'm almost to a point where I'm on a waiting list for coaching because I have 7 coaching clients right now. 8's my max. Because I don't want to be having any more sessions than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get stretched thin and you have to give those people their time. Yeah.
And I have to remember them. What if I get on a call and I'm like, so Ray, how's your girlfriend? Right? Well, he goes by Zach.
Right. Born right? That way. That's so funny. Gosh, and let it attest. I wanted this to be a 2-part thing with you. And I was too shy I didn't want to bother you for your time too much because I feel like you were being so gracious and generous. And now we have so much content that bam, I got my 2-parter right here with you. It's wonderful. I got to say, I could keep talking to you all day for hours. I mean, I love you. I love your energy. I love your divine calling to be of service to other people. And I hope to emulate your same energy and just being generous with truth, and with people. And so I thank you for being such a pillar in the community, for helping everyone. And I hope that we can do this again soon.
Anytime you want. You have a hole in the schedule. Do you mind? No, I don't mind.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's
I'll do
awesome.
it every day. I don't care.
Thank you.
Listen, first of all, people who found you, they found your energy, and you're an amazing person. You're so lovely. You have such a beautiful energy, and you dedicated your life to transforming all of us from the outside. And now what are you doing? You're transforming all of us from the inside.
Absolutely. That's been the biggest transition, as I've always been I've always been called to help people feel good. But my thing with makeup as a makeup artist is that it can all be washed down the drain. Now, I've given that person the experience for however they wore the makeup, however long they wore the makeup. They have that day in their memory where they felt on top of the world. They felt confident. They felt beautiful.
Look at those photos.
Yeah, even though they were beautiful before I got a hold of them, but I wanted to go deeper. And
Right.
and people like you help me discover different ways to make that go deeper. And it's so beautiful. What you do is so beautiful. We're all so grateful for you. So
Oh,
we're gonna have to do this again soon. We have to
listen,
do it.
I'm
Even
here for it.
yes, and
When
everybody,
you have your friend in St. Pete, I'm your second stop. Okay.
yes, that would be fun. They keep nagging me to go out there. Now that I live in
Oh,
LA,
you
it's
have
like, oh, it's a bigger flight, but bigger time commitment, but it's gonna have to happen because I hear it's so beautiful.
2 hours by flight.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Come during Pride Week. It's the biggest Pride festival in the United States.
Really? I didn't know that. It's in June,
Yes.
right? Is it coming up
In
soon?
June.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
The whole we have our neighborhood, but our neighborhood is like half the city.
Hmm.
You
I
know,
used to live in Key West, actually. So
oh, I haven't been to Key West yet, but I heard it's just so beautiful.
it's fun. It's definitely fun. Guys, make sure that you check out Michelle J. Lamont on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find podcasts, right? And
Yeah.
Instagram, of course. I'm going to link all of this in the bio today. Thank you so much, Michelle.
It's been my honor, and keep listening, and it's gonna all work out.